So the topic is Gen Z don't search as much as it scrolls. So this topic I am going to discuss is I recently read an article on this in the Ken and also watched a video regarding this aspect in YouTube as well. And here I'm going to share you the key insights that I got through this. So what is first let me give you the context of what is happening around. We are seeing that many small players in various segments are coming up and they are overpowering the traditional players like shampoos. Earlier we used to buy shampoos like Sunsilk, Dove, but now in the shelves you will see that there are various new companies that are coming up and taking up our shelves and entering in our lives. Why that is happening? Because the consumer has shifted. Earlier the strategies that these traditional companies would had followed was a kind of push strategies. They used to produce at bulk through their economics of scale. Then they distribute it through their channels and make the products available on the shelves of the retailer. They market their products heavily and they hope that this will derive the demand, and that used to be the case also because people used to buy more from the kirana stores. But now what is happening is Gen Z, they are much more strict and glued to their mobile phones, and through because of the increase of screen time, many new players are coming up and taking the attention from them. Like there are many new products, that new companies that we are seeing even in Shark Tank, that comes and boasts of its huge sales. We even don't know about those companies, many of us, but still the sales are such great because they have built a loyal customers around them through this social media platform. So what Instagram does is Instagram and other social media platform, it connects and bridges the new company with its target audience, and it leapfrogs the other traditional channels. So if you are connected with the new company and you genuinely connects with their stories and likes their product, you go into much deeper to see what their ingredients are, what the reviews are there in many anonymous channels like Reddit. And even their marketing also appeals to the customers because they are made from some unknown people and not just celebrities, which usually Gen Z's don't connect with like the millennials used to. So the customer gets introduced to the brand through the social media platform, and they buy in the story that this brand builds. And from that the trust is developed, and the Gen Z brings the and buys the products. Many brands like Minimalist, Yoga Bar, this just promoted through these channels only. And they didn't went on to directly compete with the traditional players. So as a result, what is happening is that these traditional companies are being left behind. So now they are ramping up, and instead of competing on this segment, which is completely new for them, the strategy, they are buying on this new companies which have learned the expertise of connecting to their niche audience, building trust, and then growing through word of mouth. We see that ITC or HUL has recently acquired Yoga Bar. Then Marico has recently acquired a popcorn brand, a skincare brand, and even a popcorn skincare and a protein brand. Then there is HUL that has brought HUL or ITC that has brought Minimalist. So they are not going to this segment on their own because of their inherent disadvantages, because this kind of segment requires agility, which is lacked in the legacy companies. It takes huge amount of time to get approvals, to do the ideation and then launch the product or the marketing campaign, which may, and by the time it is launched the market would have changed. So to overcome this disadvantage, they are buying these small companies, but at the same time they are making sure that they are not taking the entire control. They have a majority stake, but they are keeping the founders intact. Because what happens is, if the founders are removed, so these companies will again act like the traditional companies and their USP will degrade. So yeah, what these legacy companies does is they buy in the majority stake, but they keep founder in this company. They don't change the management, and they let the company run as it was earlier, and help the company leverage the distribution channels and other advantages that the legacy companies have to go on to increase their scale and reach much larger audience. So this has what happened with Yoga Bar, which we now see that they are present in many retail outlets as well. From earlier it was only in the niche segment only. Then the other thing that I'm going to discuss about is how the legacy players, we discussed about the push strategy. Now this new segments, these new companies are deriving sales through pull strategy. They are at first building their loyal customers, connecting with them, and then these loyal customers are deriving demand. And because of that, many e-commerce platforms like Blinkit, Swiggy, Amazon, Flipkart, they are reaching to this way, to this companies to list their products on them, because it gives them a premium feeling, and it gives them the opportunity to offer their customers a variety of products, and so they can stick with them. This is also one of the reasons. So we talked about the two reasons, and why these small companies are winning. First, they are connect with the audience, and second is the pull strategy. The next I am going to discuss is why this small companies are being acquired by majority players. We discussed one point that these legacy companies lacked the DNA to build such agile companies to connect with the customers. The next is, they since these legacy companies are operating in a segment that has matured already, and there is very little growth that is presently happening, and in many cases there is decline also. So so to answer the question that the investors ask them, that what from where they will be going to derive the next growth. So to answer that, these companies are buying these small companies. For example, Marico recently bought three companies, each in completely different niche segments. One is popcorn, one is skincare, and another is protein. So they don't know which company will succeed, and they don't want to miss the opportunity of staying back and not taking proactive measures. So these companies are buying small companies, diversifying them, so that to make sure that they are on the train, so that by random also they are on the right train. Because even if three out of the five companies fails, even if two succeeds, they will help they will benefit the company a lot. A simple analogy can be derived from venture capitalists, where they invest in lot number of companies. Even if one or two succeeds, it derives much return for the venture capitalists. On the same model, these companies are doing presently taking their strategic decisions on. So that's all for today. Thank you.